This new keyboard from Womier seriously might be the best deal in gaming peripherals right now. And that is the Womier SK75 HE, but they changed the name to the SK75 TMR, which is into the switches. That's beyond my pay grade. We'll talk more about it later, but again, you can look at Hall Effect to TMR. Anyways, as far as in your box, you are gonna get some extra replacement keycaps. If you wanna put some pizzazz on your keyboard, you get USB A to C, you get a keycap and switch puller, because yes, this is hot swap, and you get some extra keycaps. You also get a dongle, which is connected to the keyboard, and then of course you get your keyboard. Now let's go and take a look over this keyboard, and let me tell you what, there's a lot packed into this guy here. But first, what I want to show you is the weight of this thing, because this is one seriously heavy keyboard, like no joke. So let's go and set it on the scale. We're getting 2010 grams. If we switch this up here, we're getting 4 pounds, just about 7 ounces. Like no joke, this is a seriously heavy keyboard. Fully aluminum all the way around it. You got this little cool bitty on the back, some rubber feet. There's a USB-C port, so you can fit any custom cable on it as it's not recessed in there. But no joke, this keyboard is heavy and just built amazing. Now they are saying PBT cherry profile keycaps, but I'll tell you what, these PBT, they feel more ABS to me. They don't have that grime or that grain to it. They almost feel a little bit more slick than anything. So not my preferred preference. I would definitely change these out. Plus I don't like the blue, but if you're into that, they do look sharp and they are solid keycaps for sure. But diving into this board even further, you have all that dampening foam in there, right up here underneath the space bar, and then multiple layers within the board. But first what I want to show you are the switches. Now they're calling TMR. I don't know too much about that, but again, they operate pretty much like Hall Effect, where you can adjust your actuation. But taking a look at these switches, you can see they kind of got that flat bottom there, but you also got the 2 prongs that can lock in there. The thing I really like about these switches, if we compare it to some other Hall Effect switches, these are the ones in the new Pulsar board, and you can see you got that opening bit, and then that magnet comes out to the side right there. So what that does is let that sound kind of radiate. We all know Hall Effect boards never sound too great, you know what I mean? And I think one of those is, again, with the switches, that kind of clacky sound kind of comes out of them. And these are some glorious link switches, same bit right over here. You can see that magnet comes in and out. So you get a little bit of that radiation of that sound coming out. When these are locked in there, I don't know, they might sound a little bit plasticky. I'll give you that sound test here in a second, but I think it locks in some of that pings, maybe that spring radiation in there. But anyways, just looking at the board, again, being hot swapping, this amazing build is phenomenal. Oh, by the way, talking about hot swap, it's not just these TMR switches. You can actually use standard 5-pin hot swap as well. Like, this is so cool. Having, I'm just gonna call them Hall Effect, but then also be able to use 5-pin. Every board should have this. Now I'm going to show you the software, and when I'm showing this to you, it's going to be in wireless mode. And before we dive into the software, I want to show you one thing that's a little bit tricky as far as using it in wireless mode. Number one, it's function T. If you want to go into Bluetooth mode, it's like function R, and then wireless mode is another function, whatever. Anyways, but you got to pop off the caps key, and underneath it, you're going to see that little switch right there, on and off, which is kind of annoying. I wish it was like maybe function and hold it, or there was an on-off switch somewhere around the keyboard rather than having to take your keycap off each time and turn it on or off whenever you're done with it. That's probably the one downside about this keyboard. It's just goofy and annoying after time. Okay, so now taking a look at this software, and by the way, just to refresh here, I'm actually running it wired, as the software would not load up when I was in wireless mode. So that's kind of of weird. But anyways, I am in wired mode and this is the software. And before I even dive into it, I'm going to be straight and real with you. This software sucks. As we're used to with a lot of random Chinese products, their softwares are horrible. And there's no difference here, right? So anyways, let me show it to you. Number one, you got main as far as keys. We're going to dive back into this. Let me show you your main things up here. So you got main, function settings as far as different options for your function button and whatnot. You got your macros, your lighting with a few effects here. Right there's your effects. You got the brightness and the speed. Share, not too sure what this is. Maybe you got a custom setting, I don't know. And that's when you got your account, which I'm not going to mess with any of that. And then about, as far as the keyboard here, where you update your firmware and stuff. Let's get back to main here. This is the custom core settings of the keyboard, which, you know, you can select whichever key you want. Over here is more the interesting stuff, your stroke settings. So over here, we'll do select all keys right here, which you got all of those, and you can adjust it by your press and your release right over here to 0.1 to 3.20, like we're used to with pretty much all type of Hall effect keyboards. But again, this is just not easy to operate over here, right? There's so much just shoved into this one area. Like, look at this. Like, you can't even, like, if you get these, like, everything's almost like overlapped and overlaid, right? I personally don't like anti-misappropriation mode. Like, what the heck? Like, good thing that they give you a question mark here to see what each different thing is, but again, it's just cluttered and overdone. You got your layers over here as well. It's just like, you got a lot to choose. You got everything you need, but it's not simple. Shaft settings, okay? Right, so anyways, I guess what kind of shaft you're using, you said on there. I don't know what it does, whatever. I didn't mess with that. Advanced settings over here. Again, what you got those combined with those for customs there, your macros and such. But this is kind of the other thing, DKS, where you want different selections per key as you press down further and further, right? We're used to that on a lot of keyboards now. MT, a single button activates two functions. So there you go right there, press and hold or click. So you can see you got so many different options here. The main thing that I need is snap tap. Really love how you got that over here. I got it set to A and D, which I'm not sure why it's not showing up here right now. Kind of weird because I had it saved right on there. But anyways, this is where you get snap tap set right there. So maybe we got to go confirm up there. There we go. So that was kind of weird, but we got to reverse that and then set it right there and then confirm up here. Again, this software sucks. It's just, you really got to sit in there and spend time with it to get everything set right. Because now it's over here like key 1 is D and key 2 is A. I think it's got to be reversed. So again, the software is finicky. It's a pain, but it does have everything that you need to adjust. Just, I guess, give it the time and set it up and forget it. Now, I also want to show you the manual here, as there's so much to customize on this board itself. Talking about that pain in the butt software, you can adjust a lot of it here, but even other than this, like where I told you about the Bluetooth, the 2.4, or the wired mode where you have to remove your caps key to power it on. So that's kind of a pain as well. But you see, you got a lot of options to choose from here. Mac or Windows, again, the wireless modes, all your media controls. Now, none of this is marked on the board as you saw, so you kind of got to remember. I didn't get a manual in my box. I've been using this keyboard for a while, so I don't know, maybe the retail versions, they now have a manual. That'd be very helpful. But again, mine, it didn't. So anyways, all this other stuff here, again, where you select it on or off, you got your battery mode and stuff. There's just a lot, and then we're getting into a different language here, but there's a lot you can do on the board itself. The only thing that you can't adjust, as you're seeing, is that actuation point. So you have to get into that software, set it once, and then be done with it. Now, on the performance end of this board, it was flawless. Like, again, we see in all products, it's almost hard to talk about it in reviews right now. It's like almost we should start mentioning it if it's bad, because all of them are pretty much good these days, you know? But I will tell you, again, more finicky things about this keyboard. As I just showed you with the software, it sucks. It's a pain to use. It's just confusing, right? And then having to pop off your caps key to power it on. So that's also in as far as performance, right? And I didn't like that. But the other thing is they're stating this keyboard goes up to 8,000 polling rate. As you just saw in the software, there's nowhere to adjust that. If I want to go down to 1,000 or even see what my polling rate is, I don't have anything fancy to test it. I can go on them random web browser things and test it, but we all know those aren't legit. So I can just talk about my experiences, which is what's most important, right? In my time using it, whether it be wired or wireless mode, it was flawless and it was buttery smooth. It really was. The battery life lasted plenty fine. The feel, the performance, the sound. Again, I'm not a keyboard snob, so maybe take that with a grain of salt, but it sounded great. It felt great. It felt so much better than the price point. Every single time I used it, I was just like, this can't be real. Like, I'm gonna wait until this releases. That's why I haven't covered it yet, right? Like, I've had this keyboard for probably a month now, right? And I was just like, man, something's not right. I gotta wait till they release it before I talk about it, you know? And that goes right with my use of it. It just blew me away every time I used it. It's so darn good. I mean, no joke. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this has to be the best deal in gaming peripherals right now. Everything that this keyboard's packing, number one, the build quality of this keyboard, even though there's so many finicky things on it, like I can push those aside. At the price point and what you're getting here, this is like a no-brainer. If you ever wanted a top-tier keyboard with features and functions packed into it, like this is what you gotta get. Like, no joke. I know it sounds fluffy or sponsored, which it's not, and it's not. This is just honest, real user's experience here. This keyboard blows me away. It is totally worth the money.